All right, we're here with Nick Nemeth, a senior and a captain for this Holy Name football team. This is your senior year, one of the two big seasons that we are going to see you a lot this year. Just talk about your time with this football team. Going back to year number one, you were with the team as they made it to the Final Four, to now trying to bring them back to those glory days. Talk about this full journey and how you have prepared, at least mentally, for this season.
Like I said, it's all about the off season. I mean, with the Final Four runs, I know how hard the guys work, and I'm trying to get on everyone's butt about working hard. And I mean, the team's really coming together. I mean, we're all just trying to work together and get to the end point, but we're just working on week by week, scrimmage by scrimmage, and hopefully we just come together to win some games.
With you being an excellent baseball player as well, your season did not end at Gilmore against Lake Catholic. It went all the way through the summer. Talk about the transition from one day playing a baseball game to the next having to go out there and practice. Was there any drop-off in your stamina, or was that all just the same throughout?
I don't think so. I try to train the same every day, and I mean, with my stamina and everything, I just didn't notice a difference. I just love working out and being around the guys.
Looking at this offense, first of all, and then I'm going to go to the defensive side of things. You bring back the same quarterback. You have X in the backfield. A lot of the key figures are back. Just talk about the work that you have put in with them this offseason to get better. Connor's first year as a quarterback was last year. How do you feel that connection with him can grow in year number two, where you might be asked to be that next big Holy Name receiver that goes for 1,000 yards?
I feel like the connection's there. Like I said, it's not even us three in the backfield. It's the whole team. You got the linemen blocking for us. Wouldn't be anywhere without them. Whole team's pretty much coming together, and I like our odds with Jameson returning.
The defensive side of thing, a lot of key figures leaving the program. Mikey Torzidlo gone, Aiden Butler gone. How do you now, as the senior, the leader of this team, bring your defense together, whether it be players that are your age or guys that are just entering high school, and say, this is what we have to do to win week in, week out?
I feel like it's just more of a role model figure. I'm getting on the younger guys about putting in the hard work and the grind. I mean, if they just keep working, I feel like anybody's replaceable, and I feel like we could have the same team even better.
Looking at your shirt, that does potentially give us an answer to this question. How has your college recruitment gone, whether it be for baseball or football? Any schools standing out right now, or have you even made a decision of which sport you wish to pursue at the next level?
I have not. I'm just talking to a bunch of coaches, baseball and football-wise, just exploring my options and traveling and touring their campuses. That's pretty much it.
And then finally, what is a personal goal you have for yourself this season? I know during baseball your goal was to be an all-state player, and I would say controversially you were not on that list.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed. I just try to help the team out, no matter the outcome, and I just try to do my best every single day. That's about it. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. We're here with Holy Name football starting quarterback Connor Jameson. Year number 3 with the program, year number 2 as the starting quarterback. Heading into your junior campaign, what are your thoughts? You have 1 year under your belt behind this offensive line. A lot of those guys are coming back, but a lot of guys that helped you get acclimated to high school football are now gone.
You know, we got like a great line. You know, like four out of the 5 are coming back, returning, and we got like a good senior class. And you know, we're just gonna execute from there. I mean, like practice has been awesome. Like we've been executing really good on the field. Like the coaches, they've been in it all. Like we've just been doing good and stuff. So.
In talking to the coaches, they told me that you have been putting in the work every day of the week to becoming a better quarterback. Just talk about this offseason, whether it be starting back in November after the loss against Rocky River or even in the summer. How have you seen your own growth as a quarterback and beyond that, just as a football player?
It's been going pretty good. Just been putting all that work in like the offseason. Just been in the weight room, on the field, got the footwork done, and I've got that down, so should be pretty good this year.
Last year's schedule, a lot of contrast to this year's. Usually when you see a team for the first time in one season, you see them again the next year. Not really the case, as a lot of those teams disappeared. But you have a lot of new opponents. Gilmore, which is a team that you guys are familiar with scrimmages. CCC, that rivalry renewed. Just talk about this schedule. What are your thoughts on it, and how do you prepare week to week going up against different defenses?
We'll just prepare as just usual, like we always do. Like the Thursday walkthroughs, and just like execute on practice and everything, and see like what kind of defenses they run. All that. I mean, like nothing's new. Like we've been on the grind. We've been looking at all these teams in the off season, and just gonna have to execute.
Looking at week 1 specifically, it's a special one for Holy Name, as for the first time in a long while, it is a Thursday night game opposed to a Friday kickoff. Just talk about having that extra spotlight on the team as you look at the guys playing on Friday. There's a whole host of those teams. You look on Thursday, very few.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that, but I think having a Thursday game, being like the first Friday night game, I think it'll be pretty well, and just gotta go out and play.
And then finally, what is a personal goal that you have for yourself this season?
My personal goal is to throw a lot more yards than last year, get my receivers the ball and just make them make plays, just let them be athletes. And with my line, they've been really good, giving me a lot of protection, and I think with that, we'll be good to execute and throw the ball and give them options.
Awesome, thank you. We are here with Holy Name running back Xavier Rodriguez heading into your senior year. It's a big campaign for you, not only football-wise, but also on the lacrosse field. Focusing on football, first of all, how do you feel this offseason has gone growth-wise, and how do you really expect this season to go, whether it be week 1 against Normandy or week 10 against Padua, which is a couple of months away?
I feel me and all my teammates been putting in a lot of work across the offseason, just lifting, and then doubles that just ended, getting ready for the season. We got good players, a good squad of guys that we're ready to take over the season with.
Looking at the lacrosse comparison, a very physical sport, and on the lacrosse field, you're one of those guys that if you can find a hit, you're going to take it. How has that helped you become a better football player and a better rusher as you take those hits in lacrosse season, all of a sudden it happens in football, and it just feels like second nature?
It helps because there's less pads in lacrosse, so it's kind of just your body on their body. So with the pads, it adds just a little extra protection, so it makes you feel like you just could take any hit, go through anyone, really.
Looking at the offense, a lot of key guys are coming back. You look at some of the guys lost, like Jawan Bryant, and then you lost Joaquin Gray on the offensive line. Talk about this group, a group that is mainly comprised of the class of 26 and 27. How do you feel you have grown with your teammates this year, and do you feel that will lead to better rapport on the field?
I feel like we've grown through this summer a lot, especially the class of 26 and class of 27. Just all through all these practices, always being together almost every day in the summer, just hanging out outside of football. So our chemistry is getting good. And the kids that were under Jawan and like Juan last year, they were still getting reps with the first team. So we're all comfortable. We got the chemistry. We're ready.
Looking at your shirt, Otterbein Cardinals football shirt, piggybacking off of that, how has the recruitment process gone for your college career to come, whether it be football or lacrosse? And are there any schools that are starting to stick out to you as of right now that could be potential landing spots for you after this year is over?
College, it's been going good. Just finished up my junior season, talking to some coaches, got a couple offers, but the one that sticks out is BW, so I'll be looking more into that.
And then finally, what is a personal goal that you have for yourself heading into this senior season of yours?
Want to stay healthy for sure through the season. Man, just pick up everyone else, make them better, keep their heads up, just get wins.
Awesome, thank you. We're here with rising senior Jacob Valentine, the left guard for the Holy Name Green Wave across the past 2 seasons and then upcoming this year. You'll be a 3-year starter when it's all said and done. Heading into your senior year, what has been your feeling this offseason? It's a big year, a big chance for you guys to get back to your best. Just how has this offseason been?
I mean, it's been great. Everyone's been in the weight room. Everyone's been showing up. We feel like a team again. It's just been great.
Looking back at last year, 3-7 overall record. You guys bowed out in the playoffs with a loss to Rocky River. Talk about those last couple of games. The offense, it struggled a lot. But do you feel, given the work that the team has put in this offseason, that those final 4 games are just going to be the launching pad you guys needed to bring the offense to another level?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, everyone's healthy again. We're clicking on all cylinders. Practice has been great. Everyone's been locked in, watching film, in their playbooks and everything.
And a big thing for you guys on the offensive line especially, 4 out of 5 guys are coming back. You lose Joaquim, and that is a big loss, but still, talk about how you guys have grown as a group. You're the guy who has been on the line the longest, as going back to your sophomore year, you were thrown in there early on in the year, and since then you haven't left.
I mean, we've all been here together, pushing each other to get better since day one, since freshman year, and having that chemistry between us just makes us even better.
And going back to your freshman year, you got to see the Holy Name football team make it all the way to the Final Four. Does that run still resonate with you guys, or is that something that you look at and say, it was great to see it, but we're trying to write a different piece of history?
We could definitely get back there. It just depends how we want to write our own story.
Looking at your T-shirt, Tryon being represented there, I assume that's probably one place that you would potentially like to land to play college football. But just talk about the recruitment process as a whole. How has that been going, and are any schools sticking out in particular?
Yeah, definitely. I got an offer from Tryon, just like I'm wearing that shirt right now, and Rose Holman is definitely interested in me. I have some interest in some other schools, such as MIT and all that.
And then finally, what is a personal goal that you have for yourself heading into this season?
Just to win.
Love it. Thank you. We are here with Holy Name football senior Brendan Preisel. A big year for you, Brendan, not only on the football field, but also baseball. Focusing on football, first of all, talk about this offseason. It's an interesting one for you as a baseball player, as your season did not end back in May at Gilmore. It ended a couple of weeks ago as you had to play travel ball. Talk about the process of going from baseball for a long time to then having to go back into football.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I've been doing my whole life, actually, so I've been quite used to it, actually, so I don't mind. It really keeps me going, keeps me motivated, so just one sport on to the next, actually, so yeah.
A lot of guys from last year's offense are coming back for another year, and I'm sure that is big for chemistry. Talk about the work that you guys have put in this offseason. 3-7 last year is not where you guys wanted to end, and then the year before, 4-6 is not where you guys wanted to end. Talk about the moves that you guys have made to ensure you have, whether it be a 500 season or better this year.
Yeah, well, you really win games in the off season. That's what's really important. And in the summer, coming to workouts and everything, Saturday mornings, running routes and everything. So everybody just showing up and, wanting to be here. That's what really matters, I think, the most.
Taking a look at this schedule, it's a very interesting one in comparison to last year. So many different teams coming to the schedule, whether it be Gilmore, who is usually a scrimmage team, CCC coming back for the first time in a long while, and then you have some reoccurring team from last year, such as Madison, along with Marion Franklin. What are your thoughts on this new schedule, and how do you prepare going into this year when last year you're looking at these teams like a Lakeview and saying, you know what, if we see them again, we have that chance to change this thing, we can win, but that chance is not there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just taking it week by week and, going one game at a time, winning one game at a time. So, we got, I think, Madison again this year. We owe them. And then just new teams like Gilmore and CCC that, we got to go out there and get the win any given day. So, yeah.
Week 1 is going to be very interesting for you guys this year. For the first time since the conference folded, you see old GLC foes in Normandy. On top of that, it's a Thursday game at one of the best stadiums in the state of Ohio. Just talk about all of those things surrounding that game. What are your thoughts on playing on a Thursday opposed to a Friday? As when you're playing Week 1 Friday, that game could be lost in a pile of other big games. Yeah. But on Thursday, you're front and center.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. We got the spotlight on Thursday at Byers too, which is great. I mean, I love the atmosphere there, and I'm just excited to get out there for the first time in a while. Hopefully we've got a big crowd ready, and it's going to be great. We got to go out there and get the win.
And then finally, what is a personal goal that you have for yourself heading into your senior year?
I think just as a team goal is just to win the state championship. I think that's the main goal for everybody here. I want to do as best I can, but the best I can to help the team out, and do what I can to help my brothers out. So, yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
We are here with Holy Name football defensive coordinator Patrick Patton heading into season 13 as the DC. Coach, a big year up ahead, a very winnable schedule. Talk us through this preseason, first of all, since August 1st. Who have been the guys who have stood out to you, especially considering that you lost a lot of guys on defense after last year?
Yeah, that's a great thing. It's a great thing to be able to work with some of these young guys. We've had a lot of young guys step up, especially in the linebacker position. Some guys that come to mind are Noel Wallace, Carter Varga. They've done a great job. Colt Troy has done a great job. So we have a very interesting mix between seniors and a sophomore class. when it comes to defense personnel. So it's been nice working with veterans and having the veterans help out the sophomores that are very talented. So those are a couple of the guys that have been young guys that have stepped up.
Usually in the season before, when you play teams for the first time, you see them a lot in year number 2. Pretty much every single team out of conference that you guys scheduled is not back. The only one that is back, I believe, is Marion Franklin. Just talk about the change up of having to go from different teams like Lakeview and those guys to now having a whole new cast of non-conference opponents.
Yeah, that is. I think the one good thing is we do have some familiarity, obviously, with Gilmore. They were our scrimmage last year. So there is some familiarity there. Like you said, Marion Franklin is familiar after 1 year doing that. But yeah, new challenges. I think the biggest thing is with the defense is there's so many different style of offenses out there that we see today. So really it's just about what does this team run? Are we better in a 3-front, 4-front, and going from there, picking our strengths and trying to get their weaknesses. So.
Heading into week 1, it's a Normandy team, a lot different from the last time you guys saw them, but defense ended up winning you guys that game, first of all, with Andrew Cole coming off the edge for that 2-point conversion stop, and then that final tackle at the end, which could have had extra time added on, obviously some controversy around that play. But heading into that game, no longer a conference game, but still a rivalry. What are your thoughts, and how do you guys go up against this Normandy team that lost a lot of their key offensive figures after last season?
Yeah, so it is a rivalry game, right? I mean, it's our neighbors. Regardless of what division or what conference we're in, Normandy and those guys are right down the street from us. So it's always going to be, a lot of our kids, they know each other. So that rivalry is always going to be there regardless of if they're conference or in conference. From what I've been told, yes, they have lost a lot. But it's also a school that, like Valley Forge, where you close Parma down, and all of a sudden now you got more in the pool with 2 teams instead of 3 teams. So that does always set up an interesting dynamic of new players. All right, so we know a couple of them because they came from here, and unfortunately they're over there now. But yeah, I think that rivalry is always going to be there regardless, because that's just who we are. That's our neighbors. That's our kids' buddies over there, some of them. So that when it gets personal, and the record books go right out the window every year.
And then finally, a twofold question. What is a personal goal for yourself as a coach this year? And then what is a goal for your defensive group as a whole?
Sure. So personal goal is obviously get these guys in the right position every week. I tell them all the time, our job as coaches is to get you in the right position. We can't start your motor. That's on you. We can't give you the gas to start the motor. That's on you. So our job is obviously to coach them up, give them the best opportunity to succeed. And I think our goal always is 17 points or less. When we're looking at defense, and also no 100-yard rushers a game. Like, we want to keep guys on our 100-yard rushing, especially if they have that bell cow back. We got to take that more personal. We always want to cut the right hand off on an offense. What is their strength? How do we defeat their strength? That type deal. So.
Awesome, thank you. All right, we are here with Coach Danny Day, the offensive coordinator of the Holy Name Green Wave, year 2 as the OC, year 13 with the program. Coach, big week 1 coming up next week. What are your thoughts heading into that game, given what you've seen since August 1st?
Yeah, I mean, August 1st is definitely when everybody kind of picks up football mode here at Holy Name, and a lot of programs that, lay their foundation in the offseason, we've been at it since last December. So as far as us going full steam ahead, it hasn't just been August 1st, but we're definitely mentally and physically preparing and continue to prepare for Normandy.
You lost a lot of key offensive figures after last season. Jawan Bryant in the receiving core, one of the main ones. But the big thing is you bring back your quarterback, and you'll have Connor for a total of 3 years. Just talk about the ability to bring back a quarterback and be able to develop him from year 1, sitting behind a really good offensive and really good specimen like Andrew Cole, to then having 3 years with him being in the offense as the main guy.
Yeah, with Connor, there's definitely huge comfortability within the offense, whether it's our operation, our jargon, but just like Connor and all the guys, we ask them all to compete every day. So we find if we have that competition at its highest level, everybody's putting their foot down, making sure we're going full steam ahead. That creates a great competition with our group, and guys like Connor, we do ask the quarterback to lead our offense. So we expect that out of him, and we know he's ready for that job again.
Looking at the last 4 games of last season, that's when the offense really took a downward turn. I think 27 points against NDCL, and then less than 20 in the final 4 games against Padua, EC, West Holmes, and then Rocky River. Just talk about what you saw from that tape and how you went into the offseason with pretty much the main goal being get back to the way you guys' offense was rolling in games that you were able to really control, such as I'm trying to think of a good example of it from last season, like a Marion Franklin?
Yeah, for sure. So at the end of the day, offensively, it all comes down to explosive plays, turnovers, execution. So we concentrate on making sure we're able to have complementary football, increase our explosive plays. That is definitely one thing that was lacking at the end of last season. But putting our best foot forward, both schematically and challenging the guys to do so, we find that will be able to get us points on the board. And we want to put a lot of them up.
There's two big games for your offense that are really big tests heading into this season. First of all, week 1 against Normandy. The offense really wasn't a factor in that last meeting between you guys in 2023. I believe you guys were shut out in that first half and then eventually came back and scored 21 in that second half. How do you find balance in a game that could also be defensive again? And then week 10 against Padua, a game that last year it was the defense once again saving the day on the final play, a play very similar to a play that happened, let's just say, at the field that's going to be your new home next year in 2021.
Right, for sure. When we look at the first week, it is going to be a familiar opponent, but we haven't seen them in a year, as you had referenced. So we know some of them schematically; they do a great job over there. They're able to bring a lot of different looks. So we're interested to see their tape. And as we move forward, going into the likes of Padua and other people down the schedule, right? That is definitely something we'll be ready for week to week.
And then finally, a two-part question. What is a personal goal for yourself as a coach this year? And then what is a personal goal that you have for your offense to achieve as a cohort this campaign?
We're in the business of making sure, like, relationships, they drive our success, right? So personally, as many relationships we can have for guys to be good citizens, be good students, there's a direct correlation on the football field. And that kind of goes hand in hand with our offensive goals. If we do all those things off the field and put the energy on the field, we believe that success will come. And that's something you can't really measure, right? And at the end of the day, we'll know. We'll know for sure. But we hang our hat on that.
Awesome, thank you. All right, we are here with Holy Name football head coach Dan Wondolowski ahead of a very important 2025 campaign. Kickoffs in a week and a half, coach. You have Normandy week 1, a rivalry being renewed after 2 years. Talk about your thoughts heading into that game. The last time that Holy Name saw Normandy, a controversial ending. You had that quote-unquote 5th down, then you had that time loss on the clock. Outside of all of that, you see a somewhat familiar team. How do you prep for a game like this?
Well, it's week 1, all right? So our guys, they're getting ready for week 1. What's great about it is we get kind of our own night. It's a Thursday night game instead of Friday night. So hopefully we get a little bit more coverage with it. But Normandy, Coach Koss does a great job over there. He's built that program up. He's got more depth, more numbers in that program. So I think that one's going to be a tough game for us. But it's like always for us. It's win the week, win the day. Right now we're focusing on getting through our preview with University School. Once we get through that, we'll start focusing more on Normandy, or I should say, all of our attention goes to Normandy, and we'll be ready to go week 1.
Going outside of Normandy to the rest of your schedule, as I told a couple of the other coaches, it's simple. When you play a team 1 year, you expect to see them in the reverse fixture the next year. All but one decided not to come back on the schedule. Pretty much a whole new non-conference. Talk about that dynamic, and I'm sure you, on the scheduling end of things, had to go and find these other teams from other places. And over the years, we've seen Holy Name drop down to 9 games or 8 games in a regular season because finding that perfect opponent is not easy.
Yeah, again, it's got to be a fit for us. We want a competitive game. We don't want to blow anybody out, but we don't want to get our doors blown off in the same instance. So, we're looking for those competitive games. It's nice to schedule playing Marion Franklin, got that long trip down to Columbus. That's going to be an adjustment for our guys. But most of our team coming back from last year is used to long bus rides. And then, we got that Gilmore. Right, so we used to scrimmage with them, and now we get them week 2. Madison gets to come here, and then kind of a little bit of a renewed with Cleveland Central Catholic. That'll be fun. It's a great non-conference schedule, and then back end, the new conference. It's a tough one. Having NDCL, Padua, Lake, CVCA, Elyria Catholic. Those are all tough opponents. Well coached teams.
Well, let's talk about the guys that you have coming back. We can talk a lot about the guys you lost last year. Aiden Butler, Mikey Zidla. The list goes on of just absolute ballers that you guys have had for a couple of years, and guys that were a part of that team that made it to the Final Four. This senior class, they're the last glimpse back into the past of that. Talk about those guys stepping up as leaders, and then on the opposite end of things, talk about the 28s and 29s who are already stepping up in camp and are guys that you could realistically see getting good game time this year.
Yeah, our senior class, they were freshmen. They got to see that state Final Four team. They were able to travel with us, make that deep run. I see a lot in that senior class with this senior class from that Final Four team. That leadership role. They took the mental notes back then, and I expect that to carry on through the season and be leaders for us. Our captains, Nick Nemoth, Xavier Rodriguez, Jacob Valentine, and Nate Davis, great kids, all great in the classroom, really, really good leaders. Some of them are vocal, some of them lead by example, but, we have a strong senior class. And then with our junior class, you got the likes of Connor Jameson, right, our quarterback. He's progressed nicely from last year, moving into this year. Love his development, the way he's worked. Noah Cunningham, kid that puts in a ton of work. He plays multiple sports. He's in the weight room. He finds time to be a part of everything. And then in that sophomore class, guys like Essen Gonzalez, Nico Zooks, the list goes on, right, in that sophomore class. Obviously being a Division III school, depth is always an issue, right? It's just not that, hey, you have your 1s and your 2s and your 3s, right? We lose a guy, we start shuffling, we start playing that chess match. So, I really like all three classes that we have, and our freshman class. We have a talented freshman class as well, and hopefully they can learn from these seniors and kind of keep that legacy going for years to come.
A big thing surrounding this program this year is the move, at least part-time, to a new home this year, which then in 2026 becomes a full-time change to Brooklyn. And that Brooklyn Memorial Stadium is one that holds a great, I would say, sentimental value to Holy Name football. Going back to 2021, that crazy finish as Andrew Cole won the game as time pretty much expired. How do you, as a head coach who was there for that game, look at the rematch with Padua Week 10, knowing that it could be a make-or-break game for the playoffs, and say, you know what, this is a big rivalry game, this is this group, but also looking back, how can you not over-dramatize the moment saying, this is what happened the last time that all of these pieces came together here?
Well, first of all, I got to start with our team, our school, the history of it, playing in Brooklyn. My first year coaching out of college, that I coached at Holy Name, and that was the home field. So having that Brooklyn experience, love the turf there that they put down. Drove past the scoreboard the other day, got to see that going in. They're going to be redoing the press box down the road. It's a special place. Coach Ehrbar always talks about the ghosts in the hallways and stuff like that. I believe there's probably a lot of ghosts on that field that are going to be with us on Friday night. When you talk about Padua, Coach Kubit does a tremendous job over there. I give him a lot of credit for what he does, a lot of respect. That game's 2 months away, right? It's a long time away. Maybe I'll think about it, but right now we're focused on week 1. We're focused on getting better and starting the season on a good note.
And then finally, a two-part question. What is a personal goal for yourself as a coach? And then what is your goal for your entire roster this year, whether it be growth, wins, you name it?
I think kind of goes hand in hand. I think you hit the nail on the head with growth, right? Development. I think for myself, coaches always got to grow. I'm not stuck in the same system or anything like that. We're always looking for new ways, new things that are coming out, trying to better ourselves. So, from week 1 to week 10 for myself, I'm looking just to grow as a coach. And then I'm also looking for the players to grow, right? Improvement week to week. We want to see the kids grow from the time they started. I should say late July, early August to the finish. Last game is, I want to see drastic growth from our players, both mentally and physically. Knowing the game of football and just seeing them develop. I love seeing guys develop, and I think the big thing I have for our seniors this year is, leave no doubt, right? No regrets in a program. I want them to graduate from here, Holy Name, leave our football program knowing that they gave us everything in football and then whatever sport they may play, if not in the classroom.
Awesome. Thank you.